Women are breaking all the glass ceilings, and it is such a beautiful sight to behold. What's the first thing you'd do if you became a millionaire this very minute? This is something to consider. Today, many women have become successful because they decided to do things differently and refused to be put in a box that society has adorned with a ribbon. This requires a lot of courage and strength, and only a few women who are determined actually get to achieve this feat. Wealth is not measured by how much you earn, but what you do with what you earn. This fact alone has transformed the way a lot of women handle their finances and has helped put things in perspective for them. If your first thought of what millionaires do is spending money on expensive cars or eating with the best linen, you definitely are in for a lot of unlearning. Keep reading to find out what it really means to be a successful businesswoman. The decision to be a better person daily is what pushes you faster toward success. It is not uncommon to hear people say that women who are successful business owners are dangerous or irresponsible. The problem arises when these ideas are passed down to young women who are trying to make something for themselves. Women succeed because they work harder and smarter, have strong support from their family, and constantly keep their eyes on their goals. The thirst for independence, and not just merely to spend money on yourself, is a major determinant of becoming wealthy. And even in this process, you have to trust your guts and do only the things that are right on all counts. Self-employed businesswomen do not fall from the sky. They are everyday women who choose to be better versions of themselves. They wake up earlier than most, exercise weekly, are supporters of noble causes, frugal, and persevere in difficult situations. A self-made woman does not depend on a paycheck or regular income. Rather, she experiences financial freedom. The decision is up to you. You can start anytime, at any point. But you need to choose to be an independent woman who calls the shots. You can make a difference at any point you choose. It was a surprise to everyone when the papers released that a widow left $2 million to local charities. This woman was Jessie Bridges, and she was a bookkeeper who lived a frugal lifestyle, saving and investing. While she was a bookkeeper, she bought her employer out, and without showing off, she lived a satisfying life. Living an expensive lifestyle only makes others more careful about how they relate with you, increases others' jealousy and expectations, and prevents you from doing the things you would normally do. Did you know? The key to staying relevant is to stay vigilant enough to seize any opportunity that comes your way, as she did when she bought out her employer. Successful women never lose sight of their goals. They work hard to achieve them. Women become millionaires by doing more key activities and achieving better results than most of their male counterparts. They are goal-oriented, and they direct all their efforts toward achieving these goals. They may not be intellectually gifted or have a genius IQ, but their tenacity and perseverance in difficult situations make up for this. Perseverance pushes you to heights intelligence can't. They also have role models that inspire them to be better people. And even if they are not the most physically attractive, they are the most dependable, conscientious, and likely to succeed in a group of people. Many millionaire women are good at budgeting, as well as accounting for how they spend money. They are more frugal and aim to reduce costs while increasing productivity. Rather than buy ostentatious articles, they buy things that are durable and are loyal to their retail stores even when they cost a little more. They plan investments for longer and keep stocks for longer. Men have been found to be bolder when it comes to making decisions, but this doesn't translate to being more productive. There is always an element of fear when you have to take a risk, but success depends on how you feel with this fear. Wise people take risks. They don't run from it. Dealing with fear can be difficult, but these steps can help. Prepare more for the task at hand. Work harder at solving the problem. Believe in yourself and gain confidence from previous accomplishments. Focus on the important issues. Be more organized by making plans. Make fast decisions when necessary. Women have a high rate of success in reducing the fear that comes from trying out a new venture because they share concerns with their friends' spouses or seek advice from other outstanding people and do not see this as a cowardly thing to do. Sharing ideas is a good way to grow. Did you know? Sharing ideas is a good way to grow. A good way to become successful is to have a role model who can guide you along the way. Parenthood is an important task. Your actions, or lack of them, form the building blocks of a child's life. Most Successful businesswomen were raised in homes that trained them to be successful and had parents who encouraged them to do better. 439 women who were surveyed were noticed to have parents who encouraged them to take initiative, be empathic, and get along with others. This was possible because they grew up in an atmosphere of love. The right environment will produce better character. This makes them financially and emotionally independent, which in turn makes everyone around them comfortable. About 78% of the surveyed women had nurturing families and were classified as alpha women, while the remaining 22% were classified as beta women who succeeded in spite of being raised by parents who were non-nurturing. Consider Fawn, who had parents who provided a conducive environment for her. She grew up to be enthusiastic about life and stable with the ability to adapt well in stressful conditions. Children are not the same, and it is important that parents recognize this so they can recommend other options for their children, just like Trisha's parents did. They saw her creativity and encouraged her to design clothes. Now she is a successful designer. The environment may not be at all conducive. There might be no resources to give the child the best education or the best life. But there should always be lessons on how to think while they learn through experience. These lessons are invaluable and will keep them going and help them ignore negative comments on their way to the top. Recognize the differences in your child and encourage them to be better. Some successful women never got the privilege of having a nurturing environment and become beta women, the minority of successful businesswomen. They overcame the odds and succeeded in spite of their upbringing. A higher degree of perseverance drove them to success. Although they had no control over their background and could blame that for any failure they had, they decided to take responsibility for how they lived. The show of courage, strength, and tenacity is what makes them successful. Faith had to grow up in an abusive environment, so there was an absence of enabling conditions, but she decided to do something with her life. She started from the bottom doing dishes in a restaurant and went on to own chains of restaurants and successful businesses. Parents determine the path a child takes in life. Maria McFriendly faced a similar situation from her parents, who wanted her to drop out of school since she could unmake good scores on the SATs. But she tried harder and went to college, seeing herself through by working jobs and helping her friends get jobs. Today, she is a multimillionaire who owns a business, interested in connecting people with suitable jobs. Parents can be a determining factor for their children's success. This role should not be taken lightly. Failure is what happens when you stop trying. It's not the result of something not working out. Women who grew up in different kinds of environments can be equally successful, have in fact shown that failure only comes when you refuse to let go of your previous mistakes. Beta women, because they grew up in dysfunctional homes, spend a little more than alpha women on consumer goods, even though they are both more frugal than the larger population. Beta women have little knowledge of saving and carry emotional scars of their parents' unavailability. Beta women have more difficulty getting through life. They've been married at least once, and 50% of them have been divorced at least once. They attract a type of man known as the marginal Bob, a man who exploits his wife economically and tries to dominate or disrespect her. They end up with this type of man because they are not good judges of character, having been raised in a toxic environment. Ms. Foote, an alpha woman, shared her experience with a marginal Bob and outlined major red flags that indicate a man is one. They contribute their barest minimum and are masters at begging for forgiveness. They also seek out women who have leadership qualities, but underestimate the strength of successful businesswomen. Did you know? Ignoring the red flags a man gives will only set you up for a difficult marriage. Successful women have a tendency to overindulge their children. This could pose a major problem. Successful businesswomen are very generous with their wealth because they believe that wealth is accumulated when they give to people who directly need it. In his book, Winning Through Integrity, Cliff C. Jones explains that donors receive so many benefits from giving. They gain respect, are happier, and increase their net worth. It is expected that a generous person who donates a higher amount of their income will have a lower income than someone who donates less. But data gathered from these two groups suggest otherwise. Giving and wealth are not substitutes but complements. The people who donate more have a higher net worth because they have a different orientation towards spending money. Those who spend more invest and accumulate less, while those who spend less invest and accumulate more, and in turn have more to give. More than 2/3 of people who believe in donating also grew up believing that making donations is the right way to live. And this is why a person's background is really important. However, while trying to help their children, women can keep providing financial help even when they are adults and way above, depending completely on them. Men allocate 2%, while women allocate as much as 5% of their income to help their family. It's providing all their needs and indulging their lifestyle. This is one of the reasons why children of millionaires are not nearly as successful as they are. Some children tell grave lies to get help from their successful parents, because they've not been taught any other way. Many women take the blame for their child's underachievement and see it as their cross to carry. But even with this good intention, it is hard to change a child who is unproductive by giving them money. Conflict arises when there is a cause to distribute wealth among different needs. They end up being left uncatered for, as their children always choose their own needs over everyone else's. They use different cruel means, which range from guilt, tripping, to telling outright lies to get their millionaire parents to give them money. They believe that the end justifies the means, and it is fine either way. Success won't come on a platter. You need to get up and put in the work. It is not uncommon to find that many people want to marry into families that are well off, but independent women turn down this offer and even find it insulting. There's always a great chance of these promises by other people being a hoax. In life, there are no guarantees, and nothing is certain. If you want to be successful, work hard for your success and develop self-reliance. Develop your skills daily. Train yourself to be able to handle different situations. Simply put, be responsible for your life, because depending on others can be very dangerous. Develop your skills to enable you to manage your wealth successfully. Survey has shown that those who select a spouse for financial gains end up disappointed. A good way to avoid this problem is to have contracts and put all agreements in writing. Before joining the family business, ask yourself the following. Why are you doing this? What are the business-related reasons? Does this business help you achieve your career goals? Can you use your skills, talents, and experience to make a real contribution? Can you work with your family? If things don't work out, can you get opportunities elsewhere? Do you understand what you are getting into? Don't join a business if you can't honestly answer these questions. Definitely, you will make mistakes that will cost you a lot, but these are necessary for your experience to be wholesome, regardless of your academic qualifications. You will always have to keep learning new things. For the confusing things, seek the help of a professional, so that you do and end up making grave mistakes that cost you a lot. Mistakes are a part of your journey. Embrace them. Your mistakes are proof that you are working hard. Seek help so you can correct them and become more successful. Why have one business when you can have more profitable businesses? The difference between a business that makes a profit and another that is just barely surviving can be as simple as the choice of business. Sometimes desire and ability are not enough to successfully build a business. There has to be a proper study of whether the business can bring profit when it hits the market. Businesses fail within the first 5 years because they lack an understanding of the market. Study the market before starting a business. If the foundation of a business is unstable, it messes with the whole plan. Not everyone is bold enough to take that step of owning their business, because they want the security that comes with working for others. There is also the fear of failure that comes with trying new things, which is understandable. If you want to stay wealthy, though, you need a business venture that makes money for you, even while you are asleep. A simple way to do this is to own properties. Consider the case of Rachel Rich, who opened a gift shop just because she loved gifts. She made no profit in 3 years. This is no way to do business. You definitely don't have to have it all figured out at a young age, but you should give yourself the opportunity to make mistakes and learn. This is how you discover a lot of opportunities and get the chance to start your own business. You will be more inclined to work when your business gives you financial independence and provides a great deal of satisfaction. Successful people find time to rest and take breaks regularly. However, stress can be a major reason why you don't get as much satisfaction from your job. The rigors of your daily activities can just be a little too much for you. Always take time to refresh so you can channel all the amazing talents you have into making your business work. Try not to get caught in the trap of spending all your money on needs that don't ever seem to end. It is easy to get caught in the cycle of earning money. It's just to spend it on other expenses that you've accrued. This means you just keep paying bills and end up with no savings. Constantly spending money means you have no savings. Brian, an automobile expert, understood that this was no way to live. He learned early from studying his customers not to spend all his earnings, but invest in the important things. Accumulating wealth requires that you are frugal as well as strategic. Being frugal is a good thing so long as it does undamage your health or someone else. He recognized opportunities and invested in real estate. Self-made millionaires are interested in being financially independent and willingly seek advice from other people. It is understandable if you do and want the responsibility that comes with owning your own business, but you still want to be successful. In this case, you can go into the profession of selling. Selling has many advantages associated with being self-employed. You get paid based on your ability to reach targets. So long as you are willing to work hard, you will get rewarded. Sell something or invest in real estate for extra income. Beverly Bishop got into the business of selling automobiles at a young age. She triumphed even when the field was made up of predominantly male counterparts. She sold more cars and did more research than the other people, and this improved her self-esteem, self-respect, and pride. In the field of sales, it is always better to be a sales professional who goes out to search for buyers than an order taker who waits for orders to come in. Be the professional who goes after the customer. You can become wealthy by being a sales professional who is dedicated to searching for potential buyers. The way you spend money is an indication of how much money you are ready to make. Becoming wealthy by teaching is also possible because many people do not even expect you to be a millionaire. Income is a correlate of wealth, but is not wealth in itself. Your way of life predicts wealth and not how much you earn. Your income is not equal to your wealth. Accumulating wealth takes a lot of wise investments in frugal living. Financial discipline and motivation is also a strong characteristic of educators that make them able to accumulate wealth. Taking into consideration the modest salary of educators, their sizable fortune was accounted for by investments and savings. They donate to charities and noble causes. Successful millionaire women donate to good causes. Professor Wertberg and his wife have a net worth of almost $6 million as a result of saving and investing. This is surprising, but achievable. Many successful women manage the family office so they can maximize profit. Women who are able to head the family office are disciplined and committed to seeing their family grow. They also have a knack for showing empathy. Empathy is a very important attribute of every successful businesswoman. It is the ability to understand exactly what others need and take necessary action. Many needs, ranging from a Mother's Day gift to a comforting note when they get sick, can mean a lot to the recipient. Study the most pressing need and provide a useful solution. Giving a thoughtful gift doesn't have to cost a lot, but it has to be meaningful to the receiver. Successful women know that other people are valuable, and so they do everything to make them understand this. Did you know? You have to understand others to be able to help them? Conclusion: by now, you must have other well-informed ideas of how you would spend your money if you become a millionaire this very minute. Becoming successful does not have to be obvious in your type of house, cars, or clothing. Chances are, the people who own these ostentatious things are not nearly as wealthy as those who don't. The real evidence of your success is in the way you have impacted the lives of the people who really need your help. It really is nothing to be afraid of. Other women did it. You will knock it out of the park. All you need is a firm determination to do the things that really matter. All this you already have. Try this. You need a plan for your money. Create one with your financial institution and be disciplined enough to follow through with it.